My husband was too tired to help with our newborn, so I did every night feeding, every diaper, and every visit alone. One morning at 5 a.m., I found his phone unlocked on the couch. There was a video of him in bed with my sister. In the background, I heard my baby crying. I didn't yell. I just started packing. 1 month later, I sent them matching baby shower invites, but what was inside the envelopes made her drop to her knees. I, 34 female, have always been the responsible one in my family. I was the one who drove my mom to her chemo appointments, the one who helped my younger sister pass her GED when she dropped out, the one who always held the emotional mess together when no one else would. So when I married Drew, 36 male, I thought I'd finally met someone who would carry some of that weight with me. He was funny, smart, and charismatic when we first got together. We met at a concert in Austin, started dating soon after, and moved in within a year. It felt like things were lining up. He had a stable job in insurance, I was a dental assistant at the time, and we bought a fixer-upper in a quiet neighborhood just outside Waco. The kind of place with cracked sidewalks and old pecan trees, where people still wave at each other. It wasn't fancy, but it felt like ours. I wanted kids, always had. Drew said he did too. But looking back, I think he just said what he thought I wanted to hear. He liked the idea of being a dad. He just didn't want to actually be one. When I got pregnant with our daughter, Lily, I was over the moon. I expected him to be, too. He gave me a hug, said all the right things, but then 2 days later he skipped my first OB appointment because he had a team happy hour. It was the first red flag, but I brushed it off. I made excuses. He's just nervous, I told myself. It's a big change. I wish I'd paid more attention. Pregnancy wasn't easy for me. I was sick almost every day. My back ached constantly. I was always exhausted. Meanwhile, Drew started coming home later and later. At first he blamed traffic. Then he started saying he had to network more. I'd wait up, but half the time he came in smelling like whiskey and bar food. When I asked where he'd been, he'd mumble something about a client dinner and fall asleep on the couch. I painted the nursery by myself. I built the crib by myself. I folded tiny onesies and packed my hospital bag alone. My sister, Tara, 28F, helped a bit. She was staying with us at the time, just temporarily, she said. She'd been having a rough patch. Job loss, some drama with an ex, the usual. Drew offered to let her stay in the guest room until she got back on her feet. I didn't love the idea, but I didn't fight it. I was too tired. Fast forward to the birth. Lily came 3 weeks early. The delivery was long and brutal. I lost a lot of blood and had to stay in the hospital for 5 days. Drew was there for the birth, barely. He spent most of the time on his phone, complaining about the cafeteria food, and asking when we'd be done. When we brought Lily home, I was hoping things would change. I really did. I was clinging to that hope like a lifeline. But the very first night, she started crying at 3 a.m. I was still recovering from labor, could barely walk. I nudged him and said, "Can you check on her?" He rolled over and said, "I have work in the morning." And that was that. From that point on, I did every single night feeding. Every diaper. Every rocking session. I took her to the pediatrician for colic. I drove her to urgent care when she had a rash. When she had a fever at 3 weeks old, I rushed her to the ER at 2 a.m. alone. I sat under those awful fluorescent lights holding her in my arms while Drew slept through it all. He didn't answer my texts. When I came home at 6:15 a.m., he was asleep on the couch, snoring. His phone was still in his hand. That moment broke something in me. Not all at once, but a crack formed that never healed. Still, I didn't scream. I didn't even wake him up. I just walked upstairs, fed Lily again, and cried in the bathroom so she wouldn't hear me. It got worse after that. He became colder. Distant. He started working late again, sometimes not coming home at all. Tara was still living with us, and I noticed they'd both be gone on the same nights sometimes. Once or twice, I caught them whispering in the kitchen when they thought I was upstairs. I started getting suspicious, but I didn't want to believe it. I thought, no way. Not my sister. She knows how hard this is for me. God, I was such an idiot. Then came the morning that changed everything. It was 5 a.m. Lily had just gone back to sleep after another 4 a.m. feeding. I came downstairs for a glass of water and saw Drew's phone sitting on the couch. Unlocked. He never left it unlocked. I picked it up, thinking maybe he was texting someone. Maybe I'd find proof he was cheating. I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect what I actually found. There was a video. Saved in his phone gallery. The thumbnail showed our bedroom, our bed. I pressed play. It started shaky. A bit of fumbling. Then I saw them. Him. Her. Tara. They were in our bed, in our room, under the same sheets I had changed 2 days earlier. The same room where I breastfed my daughter at night. Tara was laughing. Drew said something I couldn't hear clearly. Then she said, "Shoo, what if she hears?" And he replied, "She's probably passed out from the baby." Then, clear as day, in the background, I heard Lily crying. They didn't stop. They didn't even pause. I watched the whole thing. Every disgusting second. And I felt myself shut down completely. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't even wake them up. Instead, I took a long, slow breath, put the phone back where I found it, and went upstairs. I stared at my daughter sleeping, innocent and tiny, and I made a decision. I was going to burn them both to the ground. I started planning that same day. Not in some dramatic movie montage way. I wasn't writing out notes or printing evidence. I was surviving. Watching. Listening. Waiting. Because revenge only works when the target doesn't see it coming. I didn't want yelling or screaming. I wanted collapse. I wanted silence so sharp it sliced. I kept pretending nothing had changed. I smiled when they came home. I thanked Tara when she offered to cook. I even laughed at Drew's dumb jokes, like I hadn't seen his bare ass moving on top of my sister 2 nights earlier. But behind the scenes, I was documenting everything. I took photos of his texts with her when he left his phone open again. I emailed copies of the video to a private folder. I met with a divorce lawyer 3 towns over, someone with no ties to Waco. I changed my direct deposit info. I opened a new checking account. I applied for emergency childcare support and moved some cash into a separate PayPal account under my maiden name. Every time I changed a diaper or rocked Lily to sleep, I was whispering my plans to her in my mind. You deserve better. You're gonna have better. I'll make sure of it. Then something happened I didn't expect. Tara came home one night, with a ring. I found out before she told me. She didn't realize I still had access to our family group calendar. Leftover from a shared event planning app we'd used during my baby shower. I saw an entry pop up on her phone, "Dinner with Drew, tell her the news?" That night, she showed up giddy, glowing. She kept touching her neck, looking for the right moment. "Ratch," she said, "can we talk?" I braced myself. She started going on about how love is messy, how things happen for a reason. Then she dropped it. "Drew and I are, together." I stared at her. "What do you mean, together?" She blinked. "Like, we're a couple. We didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. I want to be honest. We want to be honest with you." Honest. My sister, who slept with my husband while I was bleeding and breastfeeding in the same house, wanted honesty now. "I'm glad you told me," I said. That's all I said. I didn't scream. I didn't hit her. I just stood up, took my glass of water, and walked out of the room. 2 days later, I told Drew I was taking Lily to visit my cousin in Round Rock for a week. He didn't ask questions. He seemed relieved. That was the last time he saw his daughter in person. While I was gone, I packed everything important. I had movers come in while Drew and Tara were at work. I took the crib, all of Lily's clothes, my documents, my grandmother's quilt, and left the rest. I even left the bed, they could rot on it together for all I cared. And I disappeared. No forwarding address. No social media. No calls. Just gone. They tried calling at first. Then texting. When I didn't respond, they got mad. Drew sent a long email saying I was acting crazy and being unfair. That Lily was still his daughter too. Tara sent a message that said, "Can we please just talk about this like adults?" Like adults. I ignored every message. And then, I started my game. I found out through a mutual friend that Tara was planning a baby shower. She was pregnant. Of course she was. That's how these things go. The friend, who knew something was off, sent me a screenshot of the invitation list. She didn't know everything, but she'd seen enough to feel something wasn't right. That's when the idea hit me. Not just to hurt them. To humiliate them. Quietly. Fully. I created a fake Gmail. Designed a shower invite that looked just like Tara's. Pink pastel theme, gold accents, baby rattles and bows. Help us celebrate Tara and Drew's new beginning. But inside each envelope? A printed still frame from that video. Full color. High quality. Faces clear as day. Their shame in sharp ink. I mailed them to everyone, my family, Drew's coworkers, Tara's old friends. Even her church group. No return address. Just an invite, and the truth. The fallout started slowly, then exploded. My mom called sobbing. She had no idea. My dad didn't call at all, he disowned Tara within 48 hours. Extended family pulled out of the shower. People started blocking her. Rumors swirled. Then Drew got fired. Apparently, someone forwarded the photo to HR. Turns out he'd been sending Tara explicit emails from his work account. The company didn't like that. He was gone within a week. Tara tried calling me from a new number. I let it ring out. She left a voicemail crying so hard I couldn't understand half of it, except for one clear sentence, "You destroyed me." And I smiled. Because they destroyed me first. 2 weeks after the invites went out, the silence from their side cracked. Tara showed up at my old coworker's house in Round Rock. She was screaming outside the front door. I had the baby monitor on. Lily was napping. I muted it and walked to the front window. There she was, hair messy, face swollen, in sweats and house shoes, holding her phone like a weapon. I didn't open the door. "Rachel. Open the damn door," she yelled. "You don't get to disappear. You don't get to, what you did was sick. You're insane." I watched her from behind the curtain, heart pounding but steady. She didn't know about the security camera. My coworker had one installed on the porch, records everything, audio included. She kept yelling. "You turned everyone against me. Mom won't even speak to me. I'm pregnant, and I have no job, and no home because Drew's living with his brother now." I didn't move. Just kept watching. Then she broke down. Sank to the porch. Cried into her hands. Eventually she left. That night, I uploaded the security footage to a hidden folder in my cloud storage. Just in case. A week later, I got a letter. From Drew. Not a call. Not an email. A printed letter in a plain envelope, no return address, just my name written in his handwriting. I opened it while Lily was sleeping in my lap. It started normal enough. He said he hoped I was safe, that Lily was doing well, that he regretted how things ended. But then it got darker. He said he knew what I did. That I'd crossed a line. That what happened between him and Tara was complicated but private. He wrote, "You had no right to share that. You've committed a felony. I've talked to a lawyer." I stared at the page, my mouth dry. He was threatening me. No apology. No remorse. Just blame. He said if I didn't stop harassing them, he'd take me to court for custody of Lily. That he'd fight for full custody on the grounds that I was unstable. That word again. Crazy. Unstable. Emotional. They always reach for it when they're cornered. What he didn't know was that I'd already met with my lawyer. Already filed for full custody. Already documented everything: neglect, abandonment, threats, proof of cheating, and now, harassment at my door, and a written threat. I scanned the letter and emailed it to my attorney that night. But here's the twist I didn't see coming: Tara wasn't pregnant with Drew's baby. She was pregnant with someone else's. A friend of hers messaged me on Instagram. "I don't know if you care," she wrote, "but you should know the baby isn't Drew's. It's this guy she was seeing before she moved in with you. Some guy from Dallas. Drew thinks it's his, but she's lying." I asked her for proof. She sent screenshots of Tara texting this guy. The dates overlapped with the time she was in my house. I felt sick. Not because I cared if Drew got cheated on. But because the whole thing, the betrayal, the collapse, the smug smirks they wore when they thought they'd won, it was built on a lie even they didn't understand. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. Let the documents stack up. And then, the final nail came. Drew tried to file for emergency visitation. His petition said I was hiding the child and refusing access. He showed up in court looking smug, like he'd finally wrestled some control back. But the judge took one look at my binder, complete with screenshots, timelines, video stills, and that handwritten threat, and said, flat out, "Petition denied." Drew turned red. The judge gave me full physical and legal custody that day. He gets supervised visits. Once a month, at a neutral site, with a state social worker present. He stormed out of the courtroom. I didn't look back. Tara moved to Oklahoma a month later. No one really talks to her anymore. My parents visit Lily every month. They never say her name. I'm still in Round Rock. Still rebuilding. I work from home now, a remote admin job that pays the bills and lets me be with Lily. I haven't dated. I'm not even sure I want to again. But every time I see my daughter smile, I know I did the right thing. And I know I'm not done yet. Because there's one more card to play. 3 months after the court hearing, I got a letter in the mail from Tara. No return address again. Just my name written in big block letters. I almost threw it away, but something told me to open it. Inside was a single sheet of notebook paper, torn on the side like it came straight out of a spiral. The handwriting was sloppy. Like she wrote it fast, maybe crying. It said, "You win. You always had everything: Mom's love, Dad's approval, a real life. He didn't love me. He never did. He only wanted to hurt you. I thought I was better than you. But I'm not. I can't undo what I did. I hope someday Lily can forgive me for what I took from her. No apology. Just regret. Not for what she did, but for what it cost her." I folded the letter and burned it in a metal mixing bowl outside the apartment. I didn't want it in my house. The next week, Drew called me during his scheduled supervised visit time. He was supposed to show up at 10 a.m. Instead, I got a call from the state center saying he'd missed 2 in a row. That if he missed one more, he'd be dropped from visitation entirely. Then his number showed up on my phone. I answered. Quietly. I wanted to hear what he had to say. He sounded tired. Voice hoarse. "I'm not coming," he said. "You win." I didn't say anything. "I lost my job again," he said. Moved in with my brother. He charges me rent now. Said I'm dragging him down. I waited. I just thought you'd want to know, he said. I thought maybe we could talk. Like people. About what? I asked. I don't know. Maybe about Lily. About us. There is no us, I said. You gave that up the night you let my sister moan your name while our daughter cried in the next room. He was quiet. Then he said something I'll never forget. She never wanted the baby, he said. Tara. She lied about being pregnant to keep me. Then she really got pregnant by someone else. When I found out, I told her to get out. She called me a failure. That's what you are, I said. Click. I hung up. A week later, I mailed him a copy of Lily's latest photo. Just one. No note. No return address. Her smiling in a little blue dress. Standing on her own. Holding a stuffed giraffe. That was the last time he ever contacted me. As for Tara. 2 months after her letter, my aunt from Tulsa called me. She said Tara checked herself into a mental health clinic. That she'd had a breakdown. That she tried to hurt herself. I felt nothing. I wanted to. I tried to summon sadness. Guilt. Even pity. But all I felt was cold. Because she made her choice. So did he. And I made mine. I protected my daughter. I pulled her out of a house full of secrets and lies. I cut out the rot before it could touch her. People always say revenge is ugly. But you know what? Sometimes it's the only thing that lets you breathe again. I didn't get justice in a courtroom. I didn't get apologies. I got something better. I got silence. I got peace. And every time Lily laughs now, every time she runs to me with her arms open, I remember exactly why I did what I did. Because she deserved a mother who didn't let monsters sleep under her roof. And I'll never, ever let them near her again.